Today what I'm going to talk about is using a recurve hunting bow as a bugout bow. The reason why I would go for a recurve as opposed to a compound, well, a number of reasons. One is you can take these apart without tools, and in which case you can just pop them in a rucksack. Secondly, there's a lot less moving parts on them to actually go wrong, and with a really good quality hunting bow, you can also get really accurate shots as well. So up to 40-50 yards, you can be picking out the kills with practice on some. You could be picking out a deer at 40-50 yards, right down to the size of a squirrel at 5 or 10 yards. I prefer these bows any day. I've got a compound bow as well, by the way, so I use that, but this is my favourite bow by a long way. So like I say, hunting bow. A couple of things to note on this is shooting off what you call off the shelf. You can see there's no moving parts, so your arrow simply sits in there, so again, nothing to break. I also have my arrows on what we call a bow quiver mounted to the bow. The reason for that, for me, when you're walking around in the woods, nothing to clatter, nothing to get caught up on and snagged on branches. Also quick and easy to take your arrow out of there, on your bow, ready to shoot. So you can see how quick something like that is, so you can react quickly as well if you need to. So, and pop it back on there. It's also easy. To see how many arrows you've got. You can see here, I shoot with carbon arrows as well. The reason why I shoot with carbon arrows, more accuracy and a lot tougher. If you're shooting in woods, you can go through wooden arrows pretty quick if your shots aren't particularly accurate, but with carbon arrows they'll take a lot more punishment. The other reason why I like carbon arrows, I'll show you in a moment, but you can simply screw on different tips. So depending on what you're using the arrows for, you can use one arrow for a multitude of different uses. You don't have to carry different arrows for different uses. Probably the other thing to note on this is the beaver hair there, to keep the silence, the vibration down. Not that this bow has any vibration at all, but shoot silent with this. Got any tips for shooting it? Like, what makes it a better shot? What about a bit about the way you canter the bow?
Oh yeah, it's not everybody's cup of tea. It's not everybody's way. But my style of shooting, I prefer to slight canter on my bow. It's always how I've been taught to shoot. Slight canter, feels comfortable. You've got more of a sight, you've got more of a view on what you're aiming at as well.
I can see you're in 3 kills there. Yeah, as I mentioned a moment ago, with carbon arrows like this, you actually get an insert, so you can just screw in different points. This first point is what you call a field point. This is what we use to practice with 3D targets, things like that. So it's a general purpose one, and it's the sort of point that you'd use most of the time. So I use stainless steel ones with a little bush, stops them coming loose as well. The second one is probably the one you're probably familiar with seeing, and this is for hunting. Obviously you can tell big game, so quite a very aggressive point. Sharp as a razor blade, this thing. And then the third one, which is probably a bit more unusual, is a thumper. So this is the sort of thing you use for small game. So you can see there it's actually made out of a rubber or a composite, and what this does is if you shot a small animal, say a rabbit or something like that, with one of the other points that pass straight through, you could even damage your arrow beyond repair. So, but with a thumper, it carries the force of the arrow and punches the prey with all that force, all that kinetic energy.